Good morning, Rise and Freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America Show at wakeupamericashow.com. I'd like to say that it's censorship, and that's why they're dragging us down on YouTube, but I don't think it is. However, over on Twitch, it's absolutely censorship. They shut this stream down over there and gave me a 14-day ban for all this spicy talk. You know how Austin be just be gay bashing over here and be calling out other things over there, and everybody's getting offended by everything I'm saying? I guess it's no surprise that was going to happen sooner or later. I might be one of the most banned people on the right. Joining us now is someone who is yet to receive a big ban, or maybe she has. Daniela Pensack. She's a field coordinator for Turning Point USA. You're going to get banned soon, Daniela. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I already made secondary accounts on everything just in case. I'm just waiting.
Good.
It's
Well,
it's it's a waiting game.
you have to have backups. That's why we stream over on Rumble, we did on Twitch, no longer Twitch, 14 days for Twitch, Facebook, and that's pretty much all for now. The big ones. We used to do it on Twitter, but unfortunately, the live streaming capabilities just disappeared. But we'll talk about that kind of stuff a little bit later, Daniela, because we've got a juicier topic going on here. I'll just give you a little bit of background briefly. Here's a Reader's Digest version. Ali Alexander, he's a big Trump guy. I met him like, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago or something like that in Washington, D.C. He struck me as kind of a gay dude, but apparently at that time was not presenting as such. So I may have assumed, but I never said anything. And he and I got into it online a few years ago. He was upset that I wasn't, licking Trump's boots for whatever reason. And he's like, I'm going to destroy you, Austin. I'm going to destroy you. I'm going to destroy your career. You'll never work in politics, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, come at me, bro. But I didn't have to do anything or even wait too long because he's in a lot of trouble right now for being a creep. What's going on?
Yeah, no, I'm not really surprised that this happened. There was a lot of rumors of Ali Alexander being gay for quite some time, and frankly, a lot of the people in the Graper movement. So what has actually happened is that Ali Alexander, for those of you that don't know, was the organizer for the Stop the Steal movement, and I know that he has been around in politics before that, but that's what he's mostly known for is organizing the Stop the Steal movement. And what had happened is that there was screenshots released by, of all people, Milo Yiannopoulos last week. He released screenshots of, and this occurred in 2017, but of Ali Alexander asking a minor for nudes. The minor was 15 at the time, and Ali was 32. And the reason why this story has become mainstream really is because Marjorie Taylor Greene tweeted out a Daily Beast article kind of detailing this, and she is saying that Nicholas Fuentes, the original, you could say the America First leader, the Groyper leader, who Ali Alexander was pretty close with, knew the entire time this was happening, and she's alleging that this is kind of like a known thing that's going on in the Groyper movement. Now, to be fair, the original accuser did say that, as far as his knowledge goes, that Nick did not know. But there's apparently more accusers of Ali Alexander that are coming out now after this, and they're saying that he did know. So there's kind of like a split going on in that movement, and as far as I know, Ali Alexander has pretty much, you know, his Twitter account suspended. He's pretty much he's gone MIA. So there's no opportunity to really reach out and talk to him about this further.
So, gay Nazis?
Gay, exactly, gay Nazis. That's kind of where we're at right now. And yeah, and for those of you that aren't familiar, like the Groyper slash America First movement, they are like the uber conservative. They're mostly characterized by their anti-Semitism. That's kind of how you could describe them. And to be fair, like if you look at Nicholas Fuentes's predilections, you could say, I'm not entirely surprised this is happening. I mean, it's kind of been rumored that the guy's been gay ever since the beginning of his career. So, but and
But
as far as I'm aware, they hate gay people in the movement. So it's kind of weird.
well, Danielle, you're gonna see as you get more and more into politics, you're gonna see some weird shit. I'll tell
I
you,
bet. Yeah.
it just when Madison Cawthorn got destroyed for saying that he was invited to a Republican sex orgy in Washington, D.C., I was just like, Yeah, that sounds like a Tuesday in in DC. As depraved as the elites are, I mean, people think, oh, they're not depraved, that depraved. Yeah, they are. Even the people that you think are like straight, they're probably not.
Yeah, and I'm willing to agree with that. Politics is really weird. The type of people that are really attracted to politics tend to be a little quirky. I can
Yeah.
understand that. But what's really funny about this is that if you actually, the Graper movement specifically is just really funny, but also kind of, you could argue kind of dangerous because I mean the movement is pretty much comprised of young men, like Generation Z men. And the reason why I guess Marjorie Taylor Greene and Milo Yiannopoulos are kind of bringing this to light, whether you agree with what they're doing or not, is that they're saying, hey, look, we have this movement full of young men and there's predators in the movement. And that's kind of a problem. And it's a very much a mobilizing force of young men. But what makes it really funny to me is that, I mean, they just are strongly against people of that ilk of gay people. But
Chris
the
Morrill over
rumors
in
are
the
out
live,
there.
yeah, Chris Morrill on the live stream says, "How do you think the Nazis ended up with such snazzy uniforms? The gays, naturally." Hugo Boss, very
There you
funny,
go.
Chris.
Very
Yeah,
fashionable.
yes, but that really is the story, Daniela, because at the end of the day, if you think that, National Socialism is antithetical to Americanism, socialism, I debated one of these people, one of these groypers in Maryland about a month and a half ago, right? And they are, I mean, she admitted to being a socialist. And I'm like, do you see all the Turning Point USA signs around here that are all against socialism? It's like, that's not what the right stands for. The right stands against socialism. Socialism is a left wing movement, but Nazism or National Socialism, as it is, again, it's just leftism, but also anti-Semitic and homophobic. It's What are your thoughts on that, Danielle?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Look, I am for Americanism. I am for liberty. I am inherently just libertarian. And uh for people, and I mean these people, these type of people, and I'm sure the woman that you've debated with, like you said, Shirley described, they're inherently authoritarian, and they are against promoting individual freedoms and limited government. Because at the end of the day, if you're going to push the type of philosophy that they're pushing, it goes against the very notion of Americanism, in my opinion. So, yeah, I very much am against it. And we've seen time and time again what happens when authoritarianism kind of goes on unchecked, when government goes unchecked, and what you get is, you get a bunch of gay Nazis telling you what you can or can't do, and that's kind of a problem in my opinion.
And we are not about to be lectured by gay Nazis around here. Boy,
Nope.
if we hadn't been banned from Twitch from what we said earlier, this whole conversation right here, Daniela, would definitely have taken us down from Twitch. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Wake Up America show. I'm Austin Peterson. We've got one of our new, I would call Daniela a rising star in the right, and her name is Daniela Pensek. So you gotta type that in correctly when you follow her on Twitter because her names are backwards. Pensak Daniela, Pentsak.
Yeah.
Make sure you follow her over there on her social networks. So this Groyper movement, authoritarians, the accusations of homosexuality to be one thing. If we're libertarians, then we obviously don't care about people's sexuality. But the reason why it's a scandal with Ali Alexander is not just because he's trying to get with other dudes as like a big Trump guy on the conservative right. It's because he tried to talk to dudes who were not of age.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's the main problem, is that he is essentially a gay pedophile. And the rumor is that there is quite a few gay pedophiles in the movement. And I mean, who else of all people but Milo Yiannopoulos to kind of open the lid on that? I'm not saying he's a pedophile, but he is very much a flamboyant man on the right, if anyone's familiar with Milo Yiannopoulos.
Hmm.
There, and like I said earlier, the Groyper movement in particular, it is pretty much exclusively for young men. So that's kind of why it's a concern. Did Nick Fuentes really know this was happening? Is he harboring gay pedophiles? I don't know for sure if if he's consciously doing this, but um, it seems to be kind of a pattern. I mean, there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of rumors about many of the leaders in the organization, including the main man himself, Nicholas Fuentes. And when I heard the story come out, I wasn't surprised at all. I was like zero surprised. It's sad, but it's true. And that's why it's very much a concern in that movement in particular. Like I said, it's exclusively for young men, very
Okay.
young men,
Right. Well,
teenagers, in fact.
yeah. Well, I mean, have you ever heard of the Bitch of Buchenwald? There are plenty of female Nazis as a part of that movement, but they exist solely online, from what I've been able to tell. Or maybe it's just, the weird sort of gay Nazi acting like a woman online thing that's going on from some of those people. I do see some of them. You are right that it is majority of them are young men, but it's what's funny is that they push this version of masculinity on the rest of us, this sort of like cultural misogyny, if you will. On the rest of society, while engaging in the most degenerate form, behaviors that they attempt to decry. I mean, they're some of the biggest hypocrites that there are in politics. At least the left and the democratic socialists are consistently communists. These are people who try and claim the mantle of American conservatism, but their traditional views really have a lot more in common with European standards and cultures than they do of cowboy Americanism. Is that something you'd agree with?
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. And look, there, I mean, the hypocrisy is just hilarious, and that's very much true. They do kind of push this like cultural misogyny, but part of me kind of thinks that a lot of that is just it's just kind of done in spite. It's done to be absurd. It's something they do
True,
to for like
true,
shock value.
but there's
Yeah.
but it's a lot of it's incels shit as well.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. They're all com I mean, other than within themselves, a lot of them are are incels, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
But
stand to
uh,
have a date. I mean, I think that when you're talking about, you breach the subject of there not being a lot of women. I think women would probably do a good job at moderating them, right? They would probably do a lot better if they had, women around, because they'd probably be a little bit more careful about some of the language and the tone that they take, because quite frankly, women act, I think, as a good positive moderating force on masculine energies, and we both play off one another very well, and it's it creates a healthier community. Not that men and women shouldn't have their own spaces to be with each other, but when you have a movement that's something supposed to represent, I would say, a portion of society, any movement that completely negates 50% of society is probably going to have some develop some illnesses in some way or another. Am I wrong?
no, you're absolutely right. And it's not, I a lot of these people, like I said, it's primarily young men. And let's be fair, when they're gonna grow up, because like the median age, I think, of like a graper is like what, 21 years old, 22
Mhm.
years old. So at least that's what Nick said. So I'm pretty sure as they actually grow up, move out of their parents' house, finish with college, actually start dating, I'm not gonna be, I mean, a lot of them are gonna change.
Right.
And that's why there is a lot of potential, not in the movement's ideals, but in the people involved in the movement. A lot of these are young guys that just haven't had a date yet. They haven't, I mean, let's be fair, like they haven't actually interacted with the opposite sex. And by the time they're going to reach 25, 26, 27, I assure you, they're going to change. All it takes is a couple female friends.
Yeah, their whole attitude though is actually one of depriving yourself of female company. When you see a lot of their memes, it's very much, anti-woman in the sense of like, she's going to steal your seed and all this kind of stuff. It's very sort of
Yeah.
they're very paranoid about women, and I think in a lot of ways it's probably because they're terrified of women. And I'll go on the record and say that women can be quite terrifying, but not the ones that we bring
It's
on this
true.
show. Daniela Pensack is joining us here live on the Wake Up America show, and I'm seeing lots of great comments and feedback from people who are happy to be here. So that here with Daniela, Arvolt24 says he was excited. He hasn't missed Daniela. Good morning, friends. Thank you all for tuning into the show. Make sure you click that like button and subscribe. Hit the bell notifications icon on YouTube. Remember also, we're always streaming over on Rumble, and Rumble is a lot better at keeping the stream up than YouTube is. If there's any like challenge or choppiness, YouTube will sometimes just shut down the stream completely. But Rumble typically tends to continue streaming. And then, of course, wakeupAmericaShow.com, it's always there, and you can tune in and see the stream there on my website as well. Daniela, this has been an awesome conversation. Not the kind of typical orthodox conversation that happens. You would never have a discussion or debate like this in the mainstream media because it's just too, I don't know, maybe it's too meta, but also I just feel like there really aren't a lot of people who can get their finger, or who have their finger on the pulse of what's happening in like under the seedy underbelly of Republican politics. But you seem to really have your finger on it. So we appreciate your commentary today.
Yeah, thank you. No, I'm really much interested in seedy politics. So, yeah, if you have any question about seedy politics or gay groypers, I'm the person to ask.
Gay
So,
groypers,
yeah.
gay groypers. She's the person to ask. Gay Nazis. Good God, this show is definitely going to get me deplatformed off at least one more platform before we go. Danielle, is there anything else that you'd like to share with our listeners and your many fans in the audience who are watching you right now?
Yeah, no, if just a quick note, if anyone wants to get involved in politics, especially as a younger person, I just highly suggest and advise them to just be careful because there are a lot of weird people involved in any political movement. And, just have a friend group, talk to people you trust if anything happens, if anyone says something or makes you uncomfortable, just watch out and be smart because politics can be really weird.
Mhm. Certainly can. Good God, Daniela. We love it that you get up so early on the West Coast to join us on the Wake Up America show. And you always do such a fantastic job, Daniela. Thank you so much for everything.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. I've been looking over at apforlibertyshop.com this morning, and it's kind of wild because a bunch of people are buying the new shirt. Have you seen it? It's the Call the Cops, I don't give a you know what shirt. So it was on a hat, and I think I had it as a magnet or something like that. But somebody contacted me on Instagram last night and was like, I want the Call the Cops, I don't give a on a t-shirt. Well, guess what? I made an awesome t-shirt for you, all kinds of cool colors. My favorite is the heather gray. It's kind of like a bluish gray shirt with the Gadsden snake on it. Call the cops, I don't give it. You know what? Go to apforlibertyshop.com, pick up your shirt today. Tell them to call the cops, I don't give a you know what. All right, we'll be back. One more segment. Well, boy, it's really getting down to the wire in terms of time. I'll cut this commercial break short. I just got to go to the bathroom real quick, and then I'll come back. All right? And we'll say goodbye on the Wake Up America show at wakeupAmericaShow.com.
Donald Trump, and I approve this message. Believe me, Austin Peterson is the best. He's got the greatest Wake Up America show I've ever seen. Whenever I tune in the mornings and watch the live stream, let me tell you, he has got the absolute best content. I love his guests. It's just a total blast to watch, and I highly endorse and recommend the Wake Up America show. It's terrific, believe me.
Step right up, ladies and gents, to learn about the coolest president yet. He's not just any old prez, he's Calvin Coolidge, and boy oh boy is he different from the rest. He was quiet as a mouse, but don't you underestimate his power. He knew how to handle money, and he didn't waste an hour. He cut taxes, lowered debt, and balanced the budget with ease. No wonder the roaring 20s brought such prosperity and peace. But don't take my word for it. Grab a copy of Calvin the Coolest President and see for yourself. It's a children's book that'll make you smile and help your little ones learn about wealth. You can find it on Amazon Kindle or get your hands on a paperback at apforlibertyshop.com. So come on down and get yourself a copy of the book that's making waves all around town. You won't regret it, so get ready to be floored because Calvin Coolidge, well, folks, he really scored.
I'm a public defender.
I am a public defender.
I'm proud to be a public defender.
80% of Americans accused of a crime will get appointed a public defender.
Everybody from a speeding ticket to capital murder.
For every dollar we spend on public defenders, we spend $3 on prosecutors.
Public defenders have to do pretty much everything on their own.
Social workers, counselors.
Investigating is another piece of it.
The average public defender holds 300 cases annually.
You never feel like there's enough time.
Public defenders have health issues all the time.
A lot of people give up and say, I can't do this work anymore.
Good morning, Rise and Freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show at wakeupAmericaShow.com. Glad to have you here. So I see you guys are talking about the internet since we got a couple of minutes. Let me give you an update with what's going on here, just so you can get an idea for, why we have the technical problems that we have sometimes, and, the context of how I'm trying to deal with it and just some of the challenges. So typically every single day on the Wake Up America show, there is some Herculean technical challenge or roadblock that gets in my way and prevents me from being able to, perform to my best or to be able to accomplish, you know, an awesome show. Sometimes the show goes absolutely awesome and we don't have any problems. Yesterday went great show, no problems with the internet. Today we had some problems, sorry. But the reason for that is that many reasons. There is a very fast internet connection in this building, and I have an Ethernet cord that's very long and can connect to it, but that's new. Unfortunately, it doesn't work, and I have got a pretty new computer that I bought for the show, and for some reason it just doesn't recognize the network, and I can't get on the internet that way. I have to go wireless, and when I go wireless, that means that you're going to get this choppiness. I bought 2 different hotspots to be able to get you internet and be able to switch between the 3 of them, because I can get on the Wi-Fi for that one. See, I don't want to bore you with the technical details because I know people are like, all right, it doesn't matter. Fact is that just until the new studio that we're working on, until I'm in there, I'm probably not going to be able to get a strong internet connection. I do have some technical mumbo jumbo coming in the mail that could solve this problem. Switch to a new computer, plug that into the Ethernet. Maybe that'll solve the problem. Of course, I will have to completely remake the entire show from scratch in order to do it. So it's just massive headaches and pains, and then trying to keep apforlibertyshop.com up, trying to make original YouTube video content, shorts, in order to grow and grow our subscriber base. The challenges that I'm faced with on a daily basis, and I don't mean to complain, are massive. The hurdles that come in my way are huge. Here in this studio that I'm operating in, it's not necessarily an ideal environment because I have to break down and set up every single day. I don't have a permanent studio. So the challenge, again, I'm not trying to say woe is me. I just want to let you know the reasons why certain things break sometimes or have problems is because the number of challenges that I face on a daily basis just to bring you this show is huge. Not even to think about booking or getting a guest there on time or having their Zoom connection look and sound good. I mean, it's just hundreds and hundreds of challenges, and maybe dozens and dozens, when not being hyperbolic, of challenges that I'm faced with every single day. And it's just me and a part-time employee. So it's not, and Stephanie helps run the shop. So anyways, just want to let you know that somebody says your modem/router is probably to blame. The only problem with that, Aaron, is that that router works fine for other computers. Just this one computer it does not work with. But I have a MacBook Pro. It's just you have to have a dongle in order to connect a USB or connect an Ethernet to it, because it doesn't have an Ethernet in. This one does, but this computer doesn't work. So I'm going to bring in a new computer. Hopefully that will work. Maybe that will solve the problems. But then there's another bunch of problems that come when you move to a new computer, perhaps with the audio, because there's dozens of little buttons and dials over here that I have to twist and turn to make the audio work. It's massive challenge. And I'm just spinning plates like crazy and hopefully giving you a good show so that you're like, oh yeah, I love to tune into the Wake Up America show. I love watching Daniela Pensac and Camelia Peterson, and I love making friends, hanging out with Tolly Owens and talking to Chris Morrill, hearing Chris Morrill's jokes and stuff. So, all of that on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, self-actualization, right? When we get to the top of the pyramid, we're all having fun and engaging with one another. Everything's working. That's the best, right? It's just, there's a lot. It's kind of like an iceberg. There's what you see above the surface, and then there's what's below. Donate a super chat to help us to spread the message of economic freedom and personal liberty to fight against internet censorship. The stream got taken down earlier today. If you say to yourself, I've got $20, but Austin, or maybe I've got $25, Austin, I would like to support you, but I also would like to get a cool shirt. Well, you can do that. Head over to apforlibertyshop.com. You can get yourself an awesome shirt, brand new. Call the cops. I don't give a t-shirt is available for you now. Go over there and buy yourself a t-shirt, and that will help to spread the message as well. You get some capitalism right there. You get a shirt, and then we get a little bit of cash that we can use to continue to improve the show. What do you say? I'm exhausted. That was such a good show. I wish it would never end, but it's 9:01 and I gotta go. So I'll see you tomorrow. Friday, Family Friday with Steffi P on the Wake Up America show at wakeupAmericaShow.com. Bye, guys.
I like shooting things, but whenever I can't shoot something, I like to cut things. My life isn't all about shooting and stabbing and cutting, though. Sometimes I have to do actual work, but when I work, I still like to have fun. And there's nothing less fun than trying to cut with a crappy knife. Thankfully, from the ancient sect of Christian knights, who also loved cutting and stabbing, comes a new implement that has received my personal blessing, the Templar knife. Like the ancient sword of Excalibur, you don't choose a Templar knife, it chooses you. You just decide what kind you want on the website first, however, and then order it online, and then it chooses you. The Templar knife comes in a variety of shapes. As a man of culture and taste, I have decided I will never use a terrible knife again. And thanks to the inspiration provided by this excellent product, I have decided to launch a new crusade against anyone using less than superior knives. Join me, brothers and sisters, by visiting uppercuttactical.com/pages/Templar-knives. That's a lot of slashes. For that, you'll need a Templar knife. For 10% off, use code AP for Liberty and join me in a quest for glory, for liberty, for Christendom, for the Templar knife. Get yours today. Fire.
Hello, this is Barack Obama, and let me tell you why Austin Petersen stinks, and you should never pay attention to anything that he has to say. First of all, he's a libertarian, and we all know libertarians are idiots. They don't realize how important government is to everything that we do. I recently became aware that Austin has opened up a libertarian shop at apeforlibertyshop.com. Now, I'm asking you as a personal favor to me that you never ever visit apeforlibertyshop.com. With all of the great Liberty merchandise there, the last thing that we need to do is to get people spreading this message around the country, because then they might start thinking that they don't need government. And that's the last thing that good Democrats like us want. So if you love democracy, like me, and hate freedom, then don't visit AP for Liberty Shop. Like I said, whatever you do, do not visit aporlibertyshop.com. I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message.
Want an engaging website to boost your business? You're just a click away from 5-star Fiverr talent. Hundreds of freelancer skills like web design. Head to Fiverr.com today and get something started.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
I would remind you that extremism in the defense of liberty is no vice.
It is better to settle these matters in the courts than on the streets, and new laws are needed at every level. But law alone cannot make men see right.